Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jai Radha Madhava Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna everyone, good morning. Thank you for coming. So this morning we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter number 22, entitled Prithu Maharaj's meeting with the Kumaras. And today we're reading from text number 43. So if you can repeat after me. Nishpaditas chakartsnena Bhagavad-bhir grinalubi sadhuchistam hime sarvam atmana sahakim dade nispaditascha kartsnena Bhagavad-bhir grinalubi sadhuchistam hime sarvam atmana sahakim dade nishpaditascha kartsnena Bhagavad-bhir grinalubi sadhuchistam hime sarvam atmana sahakim dade. Nishpaditascha kartsnena Bhagavad-bhir grinalubi sadhuchistam hime sarvam Nishpaditascha kartsnena Bhagavad-bhir grinalubi sadhuchistam hime sarvam Mataji. Nispaditascha kartsnena Bhagavad-bhir grinalubi sadhuchistam hime sarvam atmana sahakim dade Nishpaditascha kartsnena Bhagavad-bhir grinalubi sadhuchistam hime sarvam atmana sahakim dade nishpaditacha. Also the order is properly carried out. Kartsnena, in full. Bhagavad-bhir, by the representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Grinalubi, by the most compassionate. Sadhuchistam, remnants of the foodstuffs of saintly persons. He certainly, mine, sarvam, everything, atmana, heart and soul, saha, with, kim, what, dade, shall give. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. So just to recap, this is Prithu Maharaj speaking to Sanat Kumar. Okay, so you are aware of the context. Maybe just to recap, Prithu Maharaj has been awarded a kingdom and he is flourishing. Everyone is very, very happy with him. And then at one point the 4 Kumaras come to visit him. So the 4 Kumaras, very, very saintly. Kumara means just like a small boy. So the 4 saintly small boys, they come to his palace, and he feels very blessed that the saintly people have come to his home. And therefore now he is offering his words of gratitude to Sanat Kumar. Okay. Translation. My dear Brahmana, you have carried out the order thoroughly. because you are also as compassionate as the Lord. It is my duty, therefore, to offer you something. But all I possess are but remnants of foods taken by great saintly persons. What shall I give? This very cryptic meaning here. Prabhupada will explain. Purport. The word sadhuchistam is significant in this verse. Prithu Maharaj got his kingdom from the great saintly persons like Bhrigu and others, just as one gets remnants of food. After the death of King Vena, the whole world was bereft of a popular ruler. There were so many catastrophes occurring that the great saintly persons, headed by Bhrigu, created the body of King Prithu out of the body of his dead father, King Vena. Since King Prithu was thus offered the kingdom by the virtue of the mercy of the great saintly persons, he did not want to divide his kingdom among saints like the Kumaras. When a father is eating food, he may, out of compassion, offer the remnants of his food to his son. Although such food may be already chewed by the father, it cannot be offered to the father again. Prithu Maharaj's position was something like this. Whatever he possessed had already been chewed, therefore he could not offer it to the Kumaras. Indirectly, however, he offered everything he possessed to the Kumaras, and consequently they utilized his possessions in whatever way they liked. The next verse clarifies this matter. Srila Prabhupada ki. So Prabhupada is giving an example. If a father is there and he is eating something, then he may give some of the remnants to the child. But it would be offensive to offer that back to the father. Because even though he has chewed it, it's generally not culture to do such a thing. So why is this significant? Because Prithu Maharaj is saying, I got the kingdom from all of you saintly people. You gave it to me. It was your remnants that you offered it to me. And now you've given me transcendental knowledge. I feel like I should give you something back. But what do I have? All I have is the kingdom. But the kingdom I got from you. It's like your remnants. But I can't offer you back my remnants because that would not be culturally the right thing to do. So it's very interesting. Prabhupada says, sadhu chistam means the food eaten by a saintly person. Generally, when a saintly person eats food and you get it, what is it known as? Mahaprasad, isn't it? So, Mukunda Maharaj actually tells a story. When I read this, I was remembering this story. That once Mukunda Maharaj, when he was very early devotee, he went with Srila Prabhupada to see one ambassador of India, Nehru or someone like that. Not Jawaharlal Nehru, but someone. Anyway, as they were driving back in the car, Mukunda Maharaj, I don't think he was initiated at that time. His name was Michael. So he was talking with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was in the passenger seat. So he was obviously very new. He was getting to know Srila Prabhupada. And anyway, they had come back from this engagement and people had given them a gift. So Prabhupada said, where is that gift? He said, it's there on the seat. So Prabhupada opened the gift and it was beautiful dates from the Middle East. What do they call Majjul, isn't it? That famous dates. So Prabhupada saw the dates and he said, oh, very nice dates, very sweet. So then Michael, he was driving and then Prabhupada opened the box and then he ate one of the dates. He took a bite out of it. Prabhupada said, oh, very sweet. And then he offered it to Michael. So now Michael, he was very new. He never knew the concept of Mahaprasad. So he was thinking, my God, we do so many things, but eating someone else's food. I mean, their mouth has touched it, their saliva has touched it. Now I will eat. Why is Swamiji giving it to me? So he didn't recognize the value. But at the same time, he thought, I can't offend Swamiji because he's giving me, so I should take it. So then Prabhupada had taken this bite out of the date. So this Michael Grant, he took it. So he was thinking what to do. I don't want to be offensive. So he took a bite himself. And then he gave it back to Prabhupada. He had no concept. He had no concept that you don't offer the Mahaprasad back to the sadhu. You take his Mahaprasad, not that he takes your Mahaprasad. So the devotees, it's amazing actually. They were so innocent. They didn't know anything actually. They were just... If you watch the early videos of them in San Francisco inviting Srila Prabhupada to the airport, it's incredible. Mukunda Maharaj, Michael Grant, he receives Prabhupada at the airport. He's dressed like a magician, like you know Merlin? I don't know if you heard of Merlin. He's a famous magician. So he was dressed in this like Jaya Shishi Radha Radhanath Ki. Oh, mic swap. Okay, we'll take this one. We're just doing a mic swap. Maybe I'll just put it on here because... Oh, okay. No worries. So, yeah, the devotees were very innocent. They didn't know much at all. Like this. So, Mukunda Maharaj tells many amazing things actually in his book, Miracle on 2nd Avenue. He explains one day Prabhupada came to his home and Prabhupada was looking for somewhere to stay. So Prabhupada was looking for somewhere to stay. So Prabhupada knocked on his door early in the morning. I mean, he was still half asleep. And Prabhupada turned up. So then he let Srila Prabhupada in and he was still in his dressing gown, and he was still half asleep, and the TV was on, and so Prabhupada sat down in his living room, and so Michael was sitting there with Prabhupada in the living room at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and there were some cartoons playing on the TV. So Prabhupada looked at Michael, he said, "What is this?" But he said, "This is cartoons, Swamiji." Prabhupada said, "This is nonsense." And then he said Prabhupada was sitting on the couch and his cat, so Mukunda, Michael Grant, he had a cat. You know what the name of the cat was? Skuzzle Brunza. He had a cat called Skuzzle Brunza. So Prabhupada was sitting on the couch and this cat just jumped onto Prabhupada's lap. So Michael was thinking, oh, this is so nice, like my cat feels so at home with the Swami. He was thinking it was very beautiful. Prabhupada said, oh, Prabhupada just like, generally, cats and dogs not so much, not necessarily so clean always. So like this, it was a very special time, very special. But generally, so this point is there, sadhu chistam, that when you receive the remnants from a great saintly person, then you don't give it back. That's not culture. So similarly, Prithu Maharaj is looking at the Kumaras and he's saying, I have to give you something because you've come into my life, you've enlightened me. But what can I give you? Everything I have is your mercy. All that we are made of is the mercy of great devotees. So then when we want to thank the great devotees, we are in a big dilemma, because all we have is what they've given us by their mercy. But according to culture, you can't give someone back, a great saintly person, what they've given you. You can't give their remnants back to them. So therefore, Prithu Maharaj is saying, what can I do? Whatever I have, you please accept it. And then in the next verse he's explaining, my kingdom, my wealth, my body, my intelligence, my words, it's all your mercy. And although according to culture I shouldn't give you back your remnants, I don't have anything else to give you. So you please take it. So this is the position of a devotee. Prithu Maharaj is so powerful, he's so successful, he's so influential. But when the saintly people come to his home, then he feels, now I am so blessed. Generally the tendency is that when someone becomes successful, when someone is powerful, then they don't think they need anyone in their life. I don't need anyone. I'm doing great. I'm doing just fine. And when they come, when the saintly people come, they come because they want to ask me for something. This is the tendency. Therefore people, their homes are like a fortress, isn't it? So alarm, beware of the dog. They don't let anyone in their home because they feel people will come to take from me. But actually Prithu Maharaj, he is desiring the saintly people to come to his home because he realizes that is actually the greatest blessing. It's actually incredible. You have to understand, like Prithu Maharaj is like an extremely influential king. I mean, there's not many more powerful people in the universe than him. And then these 4 boys, they're just like young boys. They arrive in his palace and he's hearing spiritual instruction from them very, very humbly. It's amazing that he has so much humility, even though he has so much power. Because he's realizing that everything I receive only by mercy. And therefore, the goal of life is whatever we've received, all by mercy, we have to try to offer that back. The Bhagavatam says, Etavad janma safalyam dehinam iha dehishu pranerarthe diya vacha shreya acharanam sada. That if you want to make your janma means your birth. Do you want to make your janma safalyam? Do you want to make your birth successful? Yes, I do. Then what should I do? Praner arther dhiya vacha shreya acharanam sada. By the mercy of the Lord and the mercy of the devotees, you have been given 4 things in your life. Prana, some strength, some energy, the body, the life you have. This has been given to you by mercy. Nobody created it. Artha, wealth. Wealth has been given to you. We may think, I earn the wealth. But no, you don't earn the wealth. If it's not written in your karmic bank balance, and if it's not sanctioned by the Supreme Lord, you can't make any money. And even if you make money, you'll lose it. Someone will come and take it away from you. In Shastra it said that there are 4 types of sons. So one type of son is known as Rini Putra. And this means that in your past life, if you cheated someone, then in the next life they may come in the form of your son. and smiling, and in very sweet broken language they'll say Papa, 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 and they'll take away all your money. Be careful. Riniputra. So therefore, Artha, no, it's all the mercy of Krishna. Don't think it was by your ingenious scheming that you became a millionaire. No. All by the mercy. Dhiya, intelligence. Yes, I went to university, I got the degrees, I studied hard, BSc, MSc, PhD. Once I said to a devotee, I want to get a PhD. He said, PhD, permanent head damage. That's a bit fanatical. So we think we develop our intelligence. No. Because you wouldn't be able to go to university. You wouldn't be able to read those books. You wouldn't be able to comprehend any of that if it wasn't given to you by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore Krishna says, Paurusham Nrishu. I give the ability, not your ability. And Vacha, your words. Yes, I am speaking, they are my words. No. The speaking power, the power to express anything. We pray. By the mercy, even a dumb man can speak very eloquently. Therefore, the potency to speak is not coming from us. The potency is coming from mercy. Therefore, all these four things are given to us by mercy. Our life is, our wealth, our intelligence, and our words. And therefore, if you want to serve Krishna, you have nothing more to do than simply give these things back. And although this verse is telling us, sadhu chistam, you got those things by mercy, and therefore to offer that back is actually not culture, but we have no choice. And therefore that's all we have to offer Krishna. So we look at Krishna and we say, I don't have anything to offer you, but please take it. Please take my prana. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada, we were talking the other day about how he spent every last bit of energy to serve Krishna. Very wonderful. Just like yesterday on the Shinga Chaturdashi, the evening before, we were in the taking prasadam, and then some of the Matajis came. They'd been making garlands for like 9 hours, 8 hours or something. Making garlands for 8 hours. That's incredible. Give your energy. I mean, for 8 hours, just to give your energy, your concentration, just for the pleasure of the Lord, with no benefit yourself, that's glorious. So therefore, everyone can do it. Whether one is a Hanuman type energy, or whether one is the squirrel type energy, it doesn't matter. Prana, whatever energy you've been given, just use it for Krishna. Artha, whatever wealth we've been given. Srila Prabhupada also showed this. He, whatever wealth he received, he would take it, and within a moment he would spend it all for Krishna. What's the point of just holding more and more and more wealth? Racking up zeros in the bank account and not spending it for service. No, that type of wealth, that will make you unhappy actually. So when wealth is spent for the service of the Vaishnavas, for the service of Krishna, then it becomes glorious for you and glorious for everyone else. Dhiya, intelligence. We have to rack our brains. How can we share Krishna with others? It takes intelligence. We can't just be mechanical. When Srila Prabhupada came to America, he said, for 2 months I was just studying the American people. Because Prabhupada was racking his brains, how will I make Krishna consciousness relevant for them? How will I make Krishna consciousness attractive to them? How will I present Krishna consciousness so they will be able to understand it? This is the proper use of intelligence. To use your intelligence to think, how can we help others become happy? Otherwise, everyone in the world is using their intelligence just for their selfish ends. Martin Luther King once he said, those who want peace in the world have to be as intelligent and as organized as those people who want war. The people who want war, the people who want to create upheaval in the world, the people who want to harm others and exploit and pillage and take other people's territory and money and all of those things, they're so intelligent and they're so organized. I mean, these guys are working overtime. And the amazing thing is that the people who have the ability to make a change in the world, a positive change, who actually have something of value, they are not utilizing their intelligence and they are not extremely organized. That's a problem. Therefore, Dhiya, we should also use our intelligence, just like Prabhupada was using his intelligence. And Vacha, your words. Prabhupada writes a beautiful letter to one devotee. And he says, every day, just speak to one person about Krishna. Speak to one person you meet, a new person you meet. Every day you meet some new person. Tell them something about Krishna. It's so simple. Jade deka, tare kaha, Krishna upadesh, amara agyaya guru, anatare e desh. Mahaprabhu told the Kurma Brahmana, whoever you see, whoever you meet, just tell him about Krishna. And in that way your words are again invested back into the person who gave you the power of words, the power to speak, the power to communicate, all coming from the Lord. Utilize it back for the purpose of the Lord. And so in this way, Prithu Maharaj is looking at the Kumaras and he's saying, thank you so much. You've given me a life. You've given me this kingdom. You've given me everything. Now just tell me whatever I can give to you, I'm ready to give. And this way we can see there is great respect between the different ashrams actually. In a healthy community, there is great respect between the ashrams. The renunciates look at the householders and they see the householders as their maintainers. They see the householders as those who are caring for them, protecting them. They see that the householders have so many duties, but still they are practicing Krishna consciousness. And in this way, the renunciates have great respect for the householders. Just like Kumaras had great respect for Prithu. And in a healthy community, the householders have great respect for the renunciates. Because they see these devotees who have given up everything. They're living in the temple, they're serving all day. They very much appreciate their detachment and their full immersion in Krishna consciousness, and they serve them. Just like Prithu Maharaj served the Kumaras. So like this, when we develop a community in which there is great respect amongst each other, great respect amongst the different ashrams, great respect amongst the different varnas, the leaders are looking at those who are serving every day in very simple ways, and they realize, I couldn't manage anything if these individuals would not be here. They're so valuable. And those who are doing the supposedly simple services, they look at the leaders and they have great respect for them, because they say they are there, they are organizing, they're taking the headache. And because they're here, I'm able to do my service. The men are looking at the ladies and they have great respect for the ladies, because they realize that there are certain services which only Matajis can do. And the Matajis are looking at the men, realizing that yes, they also have a unique contribution. And like this, a society of respect. And where this is there, actually any community can flourish. And we see, so therefore we see in like Prithu Maharaj's kingdoms, in all of these situations, everything is very, very prosperous, because there is great respect amongst all of the different varieties that are there. And this is actually the purpose of the Bhagavatam, to create this kind of community. All right, let me stop here. These were some thoughts on this verse of the Bhagavatam. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. If anyone would like to ask any questions, or if you have any comments or anything further if you'd like me to express, I can try my best. Anyone would like to ask?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. This is a question is coming from the series of classes you've been giving, so it's a bit more general. I find that your presentations really challenge my idea of what's authenticity. And that challenge is a challenge. So how do you, because from where I'm at, and I can see the higher levels of authenticity, but I also have experience of like attempting to be on higher levels that I'm not at and falling flat on my face numerous times, and it's not very encouraging, that part of it. But at the same time, then if I stay where I'm at, then I don't move forward. So is that a question? I don't know. But
when you say authenticity, what do you mean? Like living by higher spiritual standards?
Internally, also motivation, spiritual standards, also just with it, like Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj has this quote that when the outside and the inside are the same, until then, stay in your room and preach to the mirror. So that sense of authenticity.
Yes, we are where we are in Krishna consciousness, and we realize there are higher levels, there is a higher authenticity. The ultimate authenticity is that everyone is a saintly soul. The ultimate authenticity is that you have 26 qualities of a devotee. The ultimate authenticity is that you're completely free of material desires. That is actually being authentic, because that's who you are. Sometimes devotees say, well, I have to be authentic. Authentic according to what? Your conditioned personality or your spiritual personality? And therefore, sometimes it's interesting that in pursuing spiritual authenticity, sometimes we feel ourselves on the material level to be inauthentic, because it doesn't jive with our immediate sense of who we are. Therefore, step by step, we are trying to embrace our real personality, our real Vaishnava qualities, our real desires. And we can't do it in a flash, we can't do it overnight, but there has to be a daily investment in upgrading ourselves to our real authenticity. if we simply stay authentic to our conditioned identity, that is not actually the purpose of Krishna consciousness. The purpose of Krishna consciousness is to understand your conditioned identity, to then utilize your conditioned identity, and then to eventually transcend your conditioned identity. Otherwise, what is the point of simply just honoring your conditioned identity, even if you use it for Krishna? The Bhagavatam says, Shrama eva hi kevalam. It's a useless waste of time if you don't come to the point of transcendence and understanding your real spiritual identity, which is to be a lover of Krishna. So although we may feel that to be very, very far away, we have to always endeavor in that direction. And that means sometimes you may feel somewhat I'm being humble, but I don't feel humble. I'm being enthusiastic in the kirtan, but really I don't feel that enthusiastic. And it may feel like we're being inauthentic. But when we do it with a sincere desire to embody that spiritual authenticity, then eventually you'll see it actually comes more and more. To be a pure devotee of Krishna is completely natural. It's not an unnatural thing. It may feel unnatural, but it's actually the most natural thing. But it requires time to evolve into that. So, yeah, everyone must see how to do that. That's why we have to constantly keep challenging ourselves to break out of conditioned authenticity and embrace spiritual authenticity. I don't know if that helps. Some thoughts. Thank you. Anyone else would like to ask any question? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. It's not an actual question. As devotees, a lot of people from the outside have questions for us. So Maharaj, I'd like to know of one of your experiences with such a person, and maybe, I wouldn't say tough, but I would say maybe an idea or question that they asked you, which you can share with us, and how you handled that situation.
So people ask us questions, people have questions, how do we respond to that, and how do we inspire them in Krishna consciousness through our answers? Yeah, I was impressed by the Hare Krishnas. I was impressed by the Hare Krishnas for 3 reasons. Reason number 1 was I found them, when I first met them, to be very hardworking. Reason number 2, I was really impressed by the Hare Krishnas, was because these guys had an answer for everything. And reason number 3 that I was impressed by the Hare Krishnas is because of how much they could eat. These were the 3 things, when I met devotees, these were the 3 things that impressed me the most. But one of them was that these guys could answer anything. They had an answer for everything. I came with my best questions. I remember when I was 16 or 17, I came into the temple and I was sure nobody could answer the question of why, if there's one God, there's so many religions. I was convinced nobody can answer this question. And then I just sat down, and the one brahmachari, just in like 3.5 minutes, he just boom. I was almost like angry, like this was my best question and this guy's just annihilated it in 3.5 minutes. I was very angry actually, but I was also very impressed. I was like, wow, they really know something. So yes, we have to be able to answer people's questions. And when we answer people's questions, don't just answer in terms of information, the key to answering questions is you have to try to hear somebody's heart. This is the real thing. Because the question that most people have is not coming from here, is coming from here. So if you only answer here, something may happen, but if you can learn the art of hearing the unheard, hearing their heart, hearing why they're asking that question, hearing what is their fear, what is their real reservation. Oftentimes the question that people ask is not really their question. It's something deeper behind it that's asking, that's causing them. So what will happen is that as you become more and more tuned in, and as you become more and more connected to Paramatma, then what will happen is Krishna will actually inspire you. Therefore, if you see how Srila Prabhupada answered questions, he answered it in different ways. Like when Prabhupada came on one radio show, the person asked him, "Why have you come to San Francisco?" Prabhupada said, "Because the rent is very cheap." That was his answer. So Prabhupada, obviously he saw something in him that he was not. Then another time Prabhupada was in America and an Indian reporter asked him, "Why have you come to America?" Prabhupada looked at him and said, "Why have you come to America?" He said, "Better opportunities." Prabhupada said, "Me too." So at that time he answered it like that. And when Prabhupada came to London, the reporter asked him, "Why have you come to London?" And Prabhupada just looked at him piercingly and said, "To teach you what you have forgotten." So that means Prabhupada wasn't just answering a question. Prabhupada was addressing what is deep within someone's heart. Now you may say, "But how do I figure that out?" You can't figure it out. Therefore, Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahita. That's when you need to pray to Krishna that let me now say something which will be relevant to this person. Therefore, if you read Prabhupada's poem when he comes to America, what does he say? "Krishna, now I am a puppet in your hands, and if you so desire, make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding." And therefore, this is the real art of how to answer questions. So yeah, it's a great art. Even if you look at how Krishna answers Arjuna's questions in the Bhagavad Gita, very, very, very amazing. Anyway, I could say a whole thing on questions and answers, but I think I'll stop there. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Any final questions? Otherwise, we can finish here. I think. Pardon me?
Can we ask personal questions?
Personal questions? Personal questions to Swarup Damodar. Yes.
Can we ask personal questions?
Yes, go for it.
In relationship to you.
Yes.
Raj, when I look at you, I'm like amazed. You have developed so much of seriously, spiritual verses and it just flows out of you at this young age. Even if you like went to
44. Not so young.
You in your early 40s, Maharaj, you're young.
The youth of old age, that's what someone said to me.
Maharaj, seriously, at this age to have got so much of knowledge, spiritual knowledge, and as you were saying about, you study it, it comes from the heart That's how you answer. And how has this come to you in such an early age, Maharaj? Because all the studying in this life wouldn't have given you such deep knowledge. Did it?
Well, Prabhupada was at Radha Damodar. You've been to Radha Damodar in Vrindavan. So every day Prabhupada was there. For 6 years he stayed there. And if you go to Radha Damodar even today, then you see these old Bengali widows. And every morning they do Dandavat Parikrama of Radha Damodar. And then they wash the pots, make garlands. Very simple, singing some bhajans every day. So one day Prabhupada was in Radha Damodar and he saw this old Bengali widow. Very simple. And every day she would take a bucket and she would go to the Yamuna, and every day she would come back with the water of the Yamuna, and then she would wash the Lord's paraphernalia. And one day she was walking through the gate and Prabhupada looked at her and he pointed to the devotee and he said, "She is not of this world. She's already living with Krishna." And Prabhupada went on to explain that actually the real wealth is simple devotion. Knowledge can be acquired, skills can be acquired, abilities, some are blessed with certain things, some are blessed with other things. At the end of the day, all these things won't count so much, because Krishna will look at how much genuine love you have in your heart. So nowadays, I don't know, it doesn't impress me so much if someone has a lot of knowledge, or if someone is very, very intelligent, or someone is a good orator, even if someone is a good singer. After some time, in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, it's impressive. And then later on you realize, who has love? Who can drop a tear for Krishna? That's real wealth. So yes, we study the Bhagavatam, of course. The Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. And we learn the verses and we quote them as though we've realized them. And as a speaker, you can figure out how to do it. But when all is said and done and you close the door and you're alone with Krishna, you can't fool anyone. Alone with Krishna. My God, excellent. Eddie Murphy is coming. Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills Cops. Excellent. Yeah. So that's, I guess, what I say. I think anyone can learn verses. You can also train yourself. No problem. You can do. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. You can learn the Bhagavatam. It's very beautiful. You should do it. It's very beautiful to learn verses. It's there's something, no? When you say a verse, it's like we could say the English. Yes, we could say the English, everything rests on Krishna as pearls are strung upon a thread. But when you say, Mata parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya Mai sarvam idam protam sutre manigana iva. It's very beautiful, like it has, it's Krishna's words. So naturally it has a power. So it's very nice. We should definitely do it. We should definitely study. We should definitely learn the verses and all of that. But when all is said and done, once I was at the Ganga and I was doing ashes visarjan, when you immerse the ashes in the... And the ashes were going into the Ganga, one of my good friends. And at that time I realized you can't take all the books with you, but only the genuine realization that you have in your heart. You can't take your beads with you, but you only the genuine attraction you have for the holy name. You can't take any of your possessions or titles with you, but just the desire to serve. These are the things that are going to count at the end of the day. So I think one who has love, you should be impressed by them. We should all be impressed by them. So yeah, so those are some thoughts. Nothing amazing. And also, like, we are, I don't know, like I nowadays I'm speaking 3 times a day. I mean, definitely you're going to start memorizing these things if you have to speak that many times. So sometimes I just like, relax, you're not that amazing, it's okay, like just relax. You're also just a guy on the journey. Behind all the names. When I grew up I was Sandeep. When I joined the temple I was Bhakta Sandeep, promotion. And then I took initiation and I was Sutapadas. And nowadays they call me a Swami. And then behind all of those names, who is the same person? Swamiji. I mean, people, it's like, yeah, all right. I mean, I'm trying, trying my best. Not that impressive, but.
With you, your vision is not covered by the 3 modes. Now with me, it's all.
May your words become true. I didn't feel like that at 4 o'clock this morning. I made it out somehow or other. I made it out. Anyway, we're all blessed, and all of you are very wealthy. We're very wealthy. When I heard about those Matajis making garlands for like 8 hours, I was super impressed. I mean, that's impressive. It takes something. I couldn't do that. I definitely couldn't do that. And then I realized, I got a long way to go. So yes, you're all wealthy in different ways. So let us remember, the Vaishnavas around us are not normal. Sometimes it's easier to see when a traveling person comes in. We come in, smile, sing, speak, and then fly. And so sometimes it's easier for people to see something in us. But you may actually see that in all of you, in each one of you, each other, there is amazing bhakti. There is amazing investment of mercy. And Prabhupada said, if you knew who the person sitting next to you is in the spiritual world, you may just faint. Look around. Don't know who's here. Few gopas, few gopis. Who knows? Anything's possible. So it's also like that, I think. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Thank you for your kind words. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to serve you in whatever small way I could. Durban is an iconic place. Kadamba Maharaj told me Durban is a second Bhaktivedanta Mana. That's what he said to me. So I don't know if you're impressed by that, if you want to be a second Bhaktivedanta Mana. But he was saying it's just as iconic, it's just as established, it has just as much spiritual power and potency And it's just as important as an emblem, an embassy of Krishna consciousness in this world. So, such a beautiful temple, you're so graced by such beautiful deities, their lordships, and now beautify it more and more with your own devotion and your own beautiful, loving relationships with each other. And in that way, Sri Sri Radha Radhanath temple will manifest more and more of the opulence of Goloka Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. Okay. Sharira Vidyajala. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.